My name is Julian Foster, and I am 29 years old. The day my uncle told everyone I was nothing, we were at a family barbecue at his house. The house he was so proud of. The 3-bedroom ranch with the manicured lawn. The house that proved he had made it. That he was successful. That he mattered. My Uncle Robert loved these gatherings. Loved showing off his house. His cars. His life. I loved comparing. Judging. Making sure everyone knew where they ranked in the family hierarchy. I was at the bottom. The one who had made wrong choices. The one who disappointed everyone. The cautionary tale. The barbecue was in full swing. Family everywhere. Cousins. Aunts. Uncles. Everyone is eating. Drinking. Talking. My uncle held court by the grill. Flipping burgers. Telling stories. Being the center of attention. I was sitting at a picnic table with my younger cousin Sarah. Talking about her college plans. She wanted to study architecture. Her parents wanted her to study business. The usual family conflict. My uncle walked over. Spatula in hand. Smiled that smile. The one that meant he was about to say something cutting disguised as concern. Julian. Still working at that coffee shop. It is a cafe. And yes. I manage it now. Manage. He laughed. That is a nice word for it. How much does managing a coffee shop pay? 25,000? 30? 32. He shook his head. Turned to Sarah. This is what happens when you study what you love instead of what pays. You end up 30 years old making minimum wage. I am 29. And it is not minimum wage. Close enough. He looked at the others gathering around. Listening. Julian here got a degree in history. History. Can you believe that? What does anyone do with a history degree besides teach or pour coffee? I do not pour coffee. I manage operations. Inventory. Staffing. Finances. For a coffee shop. Not exactly building wealth. Not exactly a success. He turned back to the grill. Flipped a burger. Continued. I tried to tell him. Get a real degree. Business. Engineering. Something practical. But he knew better. I wanted to follow his passion. Now look at him. Living in a studio apartment. Driving a 15-year-old car. Barely making ends meet. I am making ends meet fine. Are you though? Because from where I stand, you are 30 years old and have nothing. No house. No career. No prospects. You are basically where you were at 22. Spinning your wheels. Going nowhere. The words landed. Heavy. Public. Humiliating. Everyone was listening now. Watching. Judging. Some people measure success differently, I said quietly. Different is just another word for failure when you are trying to justify poor choices. He pointed the spatula at Sarah. Learn from your cousin. Do not follow passion. Follow money. That is how you build a life. Look at this house. The cars in the driveway. The life I built. That is success. Not managing a coffee shop at 30. 29. Whatever. The point is, you are nothing. And you are nothing because you made nothing choices. That is just reality. The word hung there. Nothing. Said with such certainty. Such casual cruelty. Like it was obvious. Undeniable. Just a fact. I did not argue. Did not defend myself. Just sat there. Let him have his moment. His performance. His need to feel superior by making me small. Because arguing would not change his mind. Would not make him see. Would only give him more ammunition. More ways to dismiss me. More proof I was defensive because I knew he was right. So I stayed quiet. Nodded. Let him think he won. Let him think I accepted his judgment. His certainty that I was nothing. But inside, I was laughing. Because he had no idea. No idea what I had been building. What I had been doing. What was coming. And in a few weeks, he was going to find out. People think success is loud. Visible. Obvious. My uncle thought success was his house. His cars. His ability to show off. To prove he had made it. But success is often quiet. Hidden. Built in spaces people do not see. By people who do not need approval. Who does not need validation. Who just works. Build. Create value without announcing it. I had been building something for 7 years. Since I was 22. Fresh out of college with a history degree everyone said was useless. I started working at the cafe. Not because I loved coffee. Because I needed money. Rent. Food. Survival. The job paid minimum wage. But it was flexible. Gave me time. Space. Freedom to work on something else. That something else was real estate. Property investment. The thing I had been studying since I was 19. Not in school. On my own. Reading books. Taking online courses. Learning from people who had built wealth through property. Not through salaries. Through assets. I saved aggressively. Every dollar I did not need for survival went into savings. I lived in a studio apartment. Ate cheaply. I drove an old car. Did not spend on things I did not need. Within 2 years, I had saved $15,000. I used it as a down payment on my first property. A small duplex in a neighborhood people were avoiding. High crime. Poor schools. But I saw potential. Saw what the area could become. The city was investing in infrastructure. New developments were coming. The neighborhood was changing. Slowly. But changing. I bought the duplex for $80,000. I fixed it up myself. Evenings and weekends. Paint. Flooring. Basic repairs. Nothing fancy. Just clean. Safe. Livable. Rented both units. Cash flowed $300 a month after expenses. That $300 went into savings. Within 3 years, I had another down payment. Bought a second property. Another duplex. Same process. Fix. Rent. Cash flow. Reinvest. By the time I was 26, I owned 4 properties. 8 rental units. Generating approximately $2,000 a month in cash flow. Not a fortune. But enough to start thinking bigger. I also got promoted at the cafe. Assistant manager. Then the manager. My salary went from minimum wage to $32,000. Not impressive by my uncle's standards. But combined with rental income, I was making over $50,000 annually. More than enough to keep saving. Keep investing. Keep building. My uncle did not know any of this. Did not ask. Did not care. I just assumed I was failing because I worked at a cafe. Because I lived modestly. Because I was not showing off. Because I was not performing success the way he did. What he also did not know was that I had been watching him. Watching his spending. His debt. His need to look successful even when he was drowning. I knew he had a big mortgage. Car loans. Credit card debt. I knew he was living beyond his means. Pretending to be wealthy while actually being broke. And I knew his house was about to go on the market. Because he could not afford it anymore. Because the pretending was catching up with him. Because reality was about to hit. I had been waiting for that moment. Planning for it. Saving for it. And when it came, I was ready. 6 weeks after the barbecue, my uncle's house went on the market. I saw the listing online. 3 bedrooms. 2 bathrooms. Quarter-acre lot. Listed at $290,000. The house he was so proud of. The proof of his success. Now for sale. Because he could not afford it anymore. The listing was quiet. No announcement to the family. No explanation. Just there. Available. Waiting for a buyer. I called my real estate agent. Sarah Rodriguez. She had helped me buy my rental properties. Knew my strategy. Understood what I was looking for. I want to make an offer on this property. I sent her the listing. This is residential. You usually buy rentals. I know. But this one is personal. What is your read on the price? Overpriced. Market rate is probably $260. He is asking too much. Make an offer. $250. All cash. Quick close. 30 days. You have $250 cash. I have been saving. This is what I have been saving for. She made the offer. That afternoon. The seller's agent called back within 2 hours. Desperate. Eager. My uncle needed to sell. Fast. He had another property he was trying to close on. A bigger house. More expensive. More impressive. He was upgrading. Living even further beyond his means. The sale of this house was funding his next mistake. The seller counters at 270. I thought about it. The house was worth 260. Maybe 265. But this was not about market value. This was about something else. Accept the counter. 270. But I want a 30-day close. And I want to be present at closing. The offer was accepted. Contracts signed. Inspection scheduled. Everything moved fast. My uncle had no idea who the buyer was. The offer came through an LLC I had set up for my rental properties. Foster Properties LLC. Anonymous. Professional. He did not connect it to me. During the inspection, I walked through the house. The house where I had been humiliated 6 weeks earlier. Where my uncle had called me nothing. Where he had performed his superiority. Showed off his success. Now I am buying it. Taking it from him. Not out of revenge. Out of investment. Out of the patient, quiet work of building wealth while he was busy performing it. The house needed work. Outdated kitchen. Old carpet. Cosmetic issues. But solid bones. Good location. Would make an excellent rental. Or flip. Or personal residence. I had options. Because I had built the resources to have options. While he had built the appearance of resources. While actually having none. Closing day was scheduled for a Friday morning. 10 a.m. At the title company office. Both parties present. Standard procedure. I arrived early. Reviewed documents. Made sure everything was in order. My agent was with me. Supportive. Professional. Ready to finalize. At exactly 10, my uncle walked in. With his wife. His agent. He looked stressed. Tired. The performance was slipping. The strain was showing. He was dressed well. Trying to maintain the image. But his eyes were desperate. Relieved this was closing. That he was getting money. That he could move forward with his upgrade. His next attempt to look successful. He sat across the table. Did not look at me. Too focused on documents. On signatures. On getting this done. His agent explained the terms. He barely listened. Just signed. Initialed. Dated. Rushed through. Then the title agent said something. We need the buyer to sign as well. Mr. Foster. My uncle looked up. Confused. Foster. I reached for the documents. I started signing. He stared at me. Recognition dawning. Wait. Julian. Hi, Uncle Robert. You are the buyer. Yes. His face went through stages. Confusion. Shock. Disbelief. Then something that looked like anger mixed with humiliation. You bought my house. I made an offer. It was accepted. Standard transaction. Why did you not tell me? Because it is business. Personal relationships should not complicate real estate transactions. His wife touched his arm. Whispered something. He pulled away. Looked at me like I had betrayed him. You did this on purpose. To humiliate me. I did this because the property fit my investment criteria. Location. Price. Potential. This is what I do. I buy properties. Fix them. Rent them. Build wealth. Same thing I have been doing for 7 years. You have been buying properties. 4 rentals so far. This will be my 5th. Or possibly my primary residence. I have not decided yet. The room was silent. The agents looked uncomfortable. Sensing family tension. Not wanting to be involved. Uncle Robert's voice was quiet now. Strained. How did you afford this? I was saved. Invested. Lived below my means. Built cash flow from rentals. The opposite of what you did. I built real wealth. You built the appearance of it. That is not fair. It is accurate. You are selling this house because you cannot afford it. Because you bought more than you could sustain. Because you prioritized looking successful over being successful. That is your choice. Not my judgment. Just observation. His wife stood. We should go. This is not the place. Uncle Robert stayed seated. Stared at me. You think you are better than me now? No. I think we made different choices. Yours led here. Mine led here. That is all. You are nothing. That is what I said. That is what I meant. And now I own your house. So maybe your definition of nothing needs updating. He stood, grabbed the signed documents from the title agent, left without another word. His wife followed, apologizing quietly to no one in particular. The door closed behind them. My agent looked at me. That was intense. That was necessary. The title agent finished processing paperwork, handed me keys. Congratulations. You are now the owner of 352 Maple Street. I took the keys. Felt their weight. The physical proof. The undeniable reality. I owned the house where I had been called nothing. Where my uncle had performed superiority. Where he had dismissed me in front of the family. Not out of revenge. Out of competence. Out of the patient accumulation of value while everyone else was busy performing. Out of being exactly what he said I was not. Something. Word spread through the family quickly. Not from me. From my uncle. Or his wife. Or someone who heard. Within days, everyone knew. Julian bought Robert's house. The cousin bought the successful uncle's house. The hierarchy had flipped. My phone started ringing. Cousins. Aunts. Other uncles. Everyone had questions. How did you afford it? Why did you not tell anyone? What are you doing with the property? Are you rich? I gave simple answers. I bought investment properties. This was one of them. I had been doing this for years. No, I was not rich. Just financially stable. Building slowly. Living within my means. Some people were supportive. I was impressed. Proud even. Others were confused. Could not reconcile the coffee shop manager with someone who bought houses. Could not understand how I had wealth without showing it. Without performing it. My mother called. She sounded worried. Confused. Julian, why did you buy Robert's house? That seems personal. It was a good investment. Location. Price. Simple as that. But Robert is family. This will cause problems. He caused problems when he called me nothing in front of everyone. I just bought a house. That is not personal. That is business. She was quiet. Then. I did not know. You were buying properties. Why did you never tell me? Because people do not ask. They just assume. Assume I am struggling because I am not showing off. Assume I am failing because I am not performing. I stopped trying to correct those assumptions. Just kept working. Keep building. Let results speak. I am proud of you. Thank you. Are you going to sell it? Or keep it? I am moving into it. Making it my primary residence. It is time to upgrade from the studio apartment. And this house is already mine. Seems practical. What about Robert? What about him? He is humiliated. Angry. Hurt. He is reaping consequences. He lived beyond his means. Bought more house than he could afford to impress people who do not care. Now he is adjusting. That is not my responsibility. You sound cold. I sound realistic. I love Uncle Robert. But I do not owe him protection from his own choices. And I do not owe him the performance of being less successful than I am to make him feel better. She ended the call. Not angry. Just thoughtful. Processing. Realizing her son was not who she thought. Not struggling. Not nothing. Just quiet. Building something real while. Everyone was distracted by appearance. 2 weeks after closing, I moved into the house. My house. The one my uncle was so proud of. The one he used to prove his worth. Now mine. Because I built the capacity to own it. I hired movers. Brought my minimal furniture. Started unpacking. The house felt different now. Not impressive. Just functional. A place to live. 3 bedrooms I did not need. 2 bathrooms for 1 person. Space I would grow into. Or rent out. Or for guests. Options. Because ownership meant options. My uncle drove by the second day I was there. Slowed down. Stared. Did not stop. Just looked at his old house. At me in the driveway. In reality he could not deny it. That I had what he lost. That I was something he could not dismiss. I waved. Friendly. Not mocking. Just acknowledging. He drove away. Fast. Angry. Hurt. All the emotions of someone whose performance had been exposed. Whose facade had crumbled. Who had to confront the reality that looking successful is not the same as being successful. I felt no satisfaction. No joy in his pain. Just neutrality. He had made his choices. I had made mine. This was the result. Not revenge. Just consequence. Over the next few months, I renovated. Updated the kitchen. Replaced carpet with hardwood. Painted. Made it mine. Not to show off. Just to make it functional. Comfortable. A place I wanted to live. The family dynamics shifted. People treated me differently. With more respect. More curiosity. More acknowledgement. Because ownership meant something to them. Because property meant success in their language. Even if they did not understand how I got there. My uncle avoided family events. Stopped coming. Stopped hosting. The house he was so proud of was gone. The performance was over. He was rebuilding. Quietly now. Without the show. Maybe learning. Maybe not. Time would tell. 1 year after buying the house, I was sitting on the porch. Drinking coffee. Watching the neighborhood. The same porch where my uncle used to hold court. Where he used to show off. Where he used to tell everyone how successful he was. Now it was mine. Not because I needed to prove anything. Because I had built the capacity to own it. Through years of patient, quiet work. Through sacrifice no one saw. Through choices no one understood. My cousin Sarah came to visit. She was finishing college. I'm still studying architecture. Despite family pressure to switch to business. She sat beside me on the porch. I looked at the house. At me. At the quiet success I had built. How did you do it? She asked. Build all this without anyone knowing. I did not hide it. People just did not ask. They assumed. I let them. Kept working. Kept saving. Kept investing. By the time they noticed, I had already built something real. Uncle Robert still talks about you. Says you stole his house. I bought his house. At asking price. That is not stealing. That is capitalism. The thing he claims to believe in. He is bitter. He is adjusting. Learning that appearance is not the same as substance. That performing success is not the same as building it. That is hard. I understand. Do you regret it? Buying his house? Knowing it would hurt him? No. Because I did not buy it to hurt him. I bought it because it was a good investment. His pain is not my responsibility. His choices are. You sound like you have this all figured out. I do not. I am just doing what makes sense. Living below my means. Building assets. Creating options. That is not genius. That is just discipline. Most people cannot do that. Most people choose not to. They choose comfort now over security later. They choose appearance over substance. That is their right. But they do not get to judge people who choose differently. Who sacrifices now to build later. That is what I did. What I am still doing. She nodded. Thoughtful. I want to do that. Build something real. Not just look successful. Actually be successful. Then do it. Live below your means. Save aggressively. Invest wisely. Ignore people who measure success by what you spend. Focus on what you build. It takes years. But it works. Did it make you happy? I thought about that. About the studio apartment. The old car. The years of sacrifice. The family is judging me. Dismissing me. Calling me nothing. No. But it made me free. And freedom makes me happy. That is a good answer. We sat in silence. Two people who understood. That real success is quiet. That building wealth is different from showing it. That the person everyone underestimates is often the person building something undeniable. My uncle told everyone I was nothing. Mocked my life choices. Whispered it proudly. Like it was obvious. Like it was a fact. I did not argue. Did not defend. Just kept working. Kept building. Kept proving him wrong without needing to announce it. Weeks later he tried unlocking his new house. His upgrade. His next attempt to look successful. But first, he had to face reality. He had to sell the house that proved his worth. The house that showed everyone he had made it. I opened the door instead. Because I bought it. Because I built the capacity to own what he could not keep. Because I was everything he said I was not. Something. Someone. A person who built real wealth while he built the appearance of it. His face broke when he realized. Not just that I bought his house. That everything he believed about me was wrong. That his definition of success was incomplete. That the person he dismissed was the person who succeeded. Not through performance. Through competence. Through patient, quiet accumulation of value. Through being exactly what he could not see. Not nothing. Everything that mattered. And now I live in his house. Owned his proof. His symbol. His performance. Not as revenge. As a residence. As the natural result of building real wealth while he was busy pretending. That was not cruelty. That was the consequence. The undeniable reality that looking successful and being successful are two very different things. And only one of them lasts. I chose the one that lasted. He chose the one that looked good. Now we both lived with those choices. Him in a house he could not afford. Me in a house I owned. Both of us exactly where our choices led. No judgment. No satisfaction. Just reality. The quiet, patient, undeniable reality of what happens when you build something real instead of performing something fake. That was worth more than any revenge. More than any satisfaction. More than any moment of triumph. That was worth everything.